Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty wacky show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want today's full show before it comes out on YouTube, it's streaming for free on the DREAMERSPRO podcast. We have pinned below. Let me get into this topic here. So this is something that came across my desk yesterday that really caught me off guard. We had actually concluded our day of producing shows. We were done. And then Mitch, who works with us, sends over this bit of news to us in our group chat. And I look at it and I'm like, what is going on here? Now, as you guys know, Austin Rivers had made some comments about Bronny James. You know, the big talk is, LeBron has always said he would love to play with his son, Bronny James, in an NBA. And that's been the big thing. People have been speculating, will LeBron leave Lakers to go play for another team just to play with his son for 1 year, blah, 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 all those different things. So that's been the talk. We all know that. So apparently Austin Rivers had made some comments 2 days ago. I didn't really catch up to them, although I was aware of it, on ESPN, where he was talking about, or they were talking about the possibility of LeBron moving, going to go play somewhere, play elsewhere. And then they brought up Bronny James and the role that plays and all of that. And when they were talking about it, they asked Austin Rivers to kind of weigh in on whether or not he thinks it would be a good idea for Bronny James to play with LeBron James. So for those of you who didn't hear what Austin Rivers had to say, we want to play it for you now, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
Are you keeping it just back there?
I mean, I hope it doesn't happen.
What do you mean?
I don't want to see Bronny play with his dad. I really don't.
Why?
I went through something similar. It was a very similar situation, but also different. I was already in the NBA when I went to go play for him. What happens is a lot of people start to discredit everything that you've done. This kid has been in the limelight since he was born. First day on Instagram, he had 1 million followers. He's handled it so well. He's played well in Sierra Canyon amongst talent and was able to get himself to a school like USC. Right now, his numbers don't scream pro. So if he is to go in the draft, or if he gets picked, it'd be great to get picked up by a contending team that could help him, put him in a situation, because he does have talent. He does have basketball IQ. He has potential. Him going and play with his dad, at this point in his career, just because Bronny's success isn't at a top-tier level,
right?
Him getting drafted and playing with his dad, I don't want that negativity to come his way, because he doesn't deserve it. He's not a top 10 pick. He's not a lottery pick. He's none of those things. I was all those things. And then still, when I went to go play for the Clippers, people were like, oh, you're only in the league because you're that. After me being the #1 player in the United States 2 years prior.
Right.
This is a whole different situation. And at a different level, because, Doc's great. LeBron James is the most popular basketball player to ever play, other than who? Maybe Michael Jordan?
Right.
It just would be a lot, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I hope for the kid that he's able to not only play in the NBA, but play somewhere where he can kind of niche out his own identity. His name's already Bronny. You know what I mean? Everything that we talk about with him, it always kind of folds back to his dad, rightfully so.
So you heard his comments. A bit out of the box, but I understand what he's saying. He's speaking. Austin Rivers was speaking from the standpoint of your dad is bigger than life, extremely popular. You carry his name in a certain way, LeBron. So you have that. So basically, he's like a namesake, kind of. LeBron is one of the 5 greatest players of all time. Most people consider him in that group. So whenever you're comparing, his son to him, there's going to be a lot of expectations, right? A lot. And given the way LeBron hypes up his son and all of that, people are going to have a lot to say. And there's also going to be a lot of criticism that comes with it if you don't live up to the hype. No one is saying that Bronny James is going to be better than LeBron James. No one has ever said that, and that won't happen. I don't think it will, at least. But if he's not a good player, it could affect him, because he's going to be criticized a lot just because who his dad is. And Austin Rivers is speaking from the standpoint of, I was a great player in college and all of that, get to the NBA, and I've been knocked because my father was a coach. And I remember some of the things I went through when I went to go play with him, when he was a Laker, when he was a Clipper. So that's the standpoint he was speaking of. Then Steven Jackson, out of nowhere, And I don't know what prompted this, although I've heard Steven Jackson talk about Austin Rivers before on All the Smoke podcast. So I get a sense that Steven Jackson isn't a fan of Austin Rivers. I've heard him talk about him before, especially when he was talking to the Morris brothers. So I come across an article from Bleacher Report that I'm going to read, and it says, Steven Jackson slams Austin Rivers over Bronny James' comments. Continues on. Former NBA 4, Steven Jackson didn't take kindly to free agent guard Austin Rivers' comments regarding his desire to see USC's guard Bronny James play on a separate team than his father, Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James. Steven Jackson wrote, difference is you trash. Bronny not. Jackson said in a comment on a Sideline Sports Instagram post, you can't compare, scrub. He also added, and your daddy is not LeBron. Shut up. Now, that's what Steven Jackson had to say. Here's my question. What prompted this? Because this came out of left field. At least that's the way it looks like in the public forum, right? We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We don't know what these guys, we don't know that. But I, and like a lot of people, were very, very surprised to hear Steven Jackson come at Austin Rivers this hard. Maybe Steven Jackson just doesn't like to hear from Austin Rivers talk about sport. I don't know what it is. But for whatever reason, he went at him hard, shut up, calling him a scrub and all of that. I don't know if that's necessary. At the end of the day, they're just talking sports. I don't think what Austin Rivers said was controversial. I don't think it was disrespectful. I don't think he was speaking from a position of trying to be malicious or jealous. I don't think any of that. I just think that he was speaking about Bronny James, in terms of his best interests as a young guy. And I can understand that. There's going to be a lot of pressure. Hell, there is a lot of pressure that comes with being LeBron James' son. Not only just his son, his first son, and then you play the same sport that your father played. There's a lot of pressure. There have been comments around the internet of, Bronny James when he doesn't have good games. Are people being too harsh on him? And that's par for the course. You have a dad. He's polarizing. And if people can take it out on his son, they will, especially if this son is not a very good basketball player. So there's going to be a lot that comes with that. And that's probably the reason why he said maybe they should play on a separate team. So I don't know why Steven Jackson didn't see that. Maybe he did and just decided, I don't care. Like, you shouldn't be talking. And why he feels that way, I don't know. Right? Because all Austin Rivers did was give his opinion. He didn't give it in a disrespectful way. But for Steven Jackson to go so hard at him, man, I was very, very surprised by that. I'm sure he'll put out a comment or a statement later on to basically expand on his position. But man, that was harsh. So these are my thoughts. What I want to know from you guys, what do you think about today's analysis? Do you think Steven Jackson went too far, or do you think he was in bounds? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.